As a kid, I couldn't say exactly when it started, but I had a lot of separation anxiety, where, like, I never went to a psychologist or anything, but it was always hard for me, like, even if my mom just, like, stepped out to go to the grocery store, my siblings would have to calm me down because I was really panicked. And, like, usually, that's pretty common in kids, but it didn't really go away. It kind of continued with me throughout adulthood. Adulthood is more like when I was a teenager, and especially it was hard when I started needing to go to girls' camp, just because it was the idea of, like, being away from home for a week, and, like, the living conditions weren't that preferable, coming from a privileged middle-class upbringing. So I'd say, like, they definitely got worse as I got older, and I definitely noticed it more at times like girls' camp, and sometimes if we did, like, overnighters for youth conference. It was kind of, like, I was fine during the day, because I think I was distracted. We had a lot of activities going on, and I was always doing things, and but then, like, night came and I'd get really unsettled, and, like, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. I would just feel, like, really panicked, I guess. And being, like, a shy kid growing up, I didn't want to, like, tell anyone about it. I'd kind of just, like, suffer in silence, I guess, where, like, everyone would be sleeping in the tent and I would just be wide awake and I couldn't sleep at all. Like, my muscles would all be, like, tensed, and I couldn't manage to relax, and just, like, your mind goes everywhere. You're thinking of all these different scenarios that could happen, and like, all the sounds in nature, like, you make them to be so much more than they are. And I was so panicked for a long time, and it happened every year, like girls' camp. And it made it really hard to enjoy girls' camp because I kept dreading that feeling that would come. Being away from home, being away from family, and not really feeling like I could talk to anyone about it because I felt like I'd be bothering people, or that, I don't know, that somehow I didn't need to, like, have help, that I could do it on my own and I could handle it. And so it was, like, my last year of girls' camp, and I, like, decided, I was like, it's not going to be like that this year. Like, it's my last year. I want to be able to enjoy it, and I want to be able to, like, have a good memory of girls' camp. And just previous to that, like, I had a youth conference, and I had a really bad experience with that just because there are a few things that, like, kind of elevate it and make it worse, like how kids would tell, like, ghost stories, and like, on purpose to, like, kind of make you feel scared and panic, but, like, I was already that, and, like, it didn't help any. And so I already had a pretty bad experience a few weeks prior to that. And so I was like, like, come on, this year, this is my year. And, like, the first night went by and it happened again. I still couldn't get any sleep. I just dreaded when, like, it was nightfall, just because I'd get so scared. And I woke up that morning, and usually at girls' camp you'll have a few minutes of time to, like, reflect, read your scriptures, just some quiet time for the girls to, like, get their day started. And I decided I was going to go off on my own and have a really personal experience, where I just prayed really hard. Like, I was like, I've been going through this for so long, and I don't know if I can handle it anymore. And I knew, like, I was going to be graduating, and I was going to go on this senior trip that was for, like, a month. And I was like, how can I handle a month if I can't even handle a week? And so, yeah, I was just like pouring my heart out. It's kind of this like Jesus take the wheel moment, like me being Carrie Underwood. And like it was just so peaceful after that. After I finally acknowledged that I couldn't do it on my own, and I did start telling more people about it. Like I told my best friend who was there during my previous experience at youth conference, and just not keeping it in anymore. Like being able to talk about it really helped me. And like after that experience, like the rest of the week went fine. Like I was able to sleep. I was able to like have a good time and enjoy girls' camp finally. And like I haven't really had much problems with it since then. And I think most of it is because I've come to that acknowledgement that it's not something that you just keep inside, because that kind of like makes it build and makes it become worse and just kind of elevate it. And just being able to talk about it makes it such a release, and having a support system, like being able to talk to my mom, being able to talk to my friends. And whenever it was hard, they always like were aware and were able to calm me down. And I think that, and also having that religious perspective of being able to turn things over to a higher being, and trust that they were aware of what was happening as well, and that they had a love for me, and that they could help me as well. I think that's mainly what like helped me, was, yeah, just being able to reach out to people, and kind of getting over myself, like, no, you can't do this on your own. But yeah, and I'd say my life has definitely had an increase since then. I've become better, like, talking to people and being away from home. Like, I'm in college now, like, and I have an apartment, and I was really scared about that in the beginning when I first moved out. I was like, is this going to come back? Like, I thought I handled it, but it really was fine. And yeah, I'm just grateful that that was an experience I had, that now I have a better understanding to help people. And yeah, and I'm just so grateful for that, even though it was a hard thing to go through at the time. But I definitely think that I have grown as a person because of it.